Hello my friend, Matt from Best Friends Club. Today we will be doing a review of the song Hooked on You by DJOKO. We'll just jump right into it right after the drop. Off the bat, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I do not exactly know how to pronounce this. I'm assuming it's Joko, whatever. If you know and I'm wrong, you can destroy me in the comments. But today the song is Hooked on You. Right away from the name of the song, I have a good feeling about this. Also, the label that it's being released on, Shall Not Fade, I have a good feeling about this as well. And one of the reasons I chose to do this song from this artist is I really like the song. Actually, I have it right here. It's called Be Real, the one with Baloo, I think. The bear from the Jungle Book on it. You probably know the one. It looks like a little stamp is on the record. That song is cool as hell, and I think there's a couple of songs that he has, or she has, that are really awesome as well. So I thought this one would be a cool one to do. And we're gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna have the first listen right now, and it's gonna be all fast while I zoom through it. All right, here we go. Alright, so first impressions, I think I definitely like the track. Right off the bat, it kind of hits hard, and it has all elements that I kind of like, deep housey kind of chords and the sounds of the instrument playing the chords as well, that kind of Rhodes sound with like not a lot of high end and like kind of the rhythm of it. Very cool stuff. And of course, I usually kind of dig groovy stuff, and when the bass comes in, it's very groovy. Really like that. Another awesome element would be the vocals that hit me right away. Very cool sounding, like it definitely sounds like a female voice, and the voice has been pitched down. Sounds kind of vintagey, that cool, like old school deep house kind of vibe kind of comes in really awesomely, but it also sounds very modern at the same time, which is cool. And then other than that, the other thing that kind of really caught my attention on the first listen was there's two drops, or rather two breakdowns before some drops, and these breakdowns are really cool. They're a little bit longer. They chill out quite a bit. They're not super. Typical, I guess. They don't have like a huge 909. They're a little bit more chill. They don't get very spacey, and like in terms of a lot of reverb coming in. Well, I should probably listen to it again, which I'll definitely do, and give a deeper review. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a ramble of a first opinion. What I'm gonna do is I'll listen to this a few more times throughout the day. I'm gonna be working from home, obviously, so I'll listen to it while I'm working, and then I'll probably try to go out on a little walk and listen to it outside as well to get a deeper opinion. I'm looking probably for about 5, 6, 7 more times I'm gonna listen to this one, and I'll be back with a deeper review. Alright, so I got to listen to the song maybe 6, maybe 7 more times, and here are my thoughts on it. First of all, I looked at the name a bunch, and it may just be DJOKO, but I don't know. So I'm just gonna throw that one out there, another shot at the name. But to the actual song, I overall definitely really liked it. It's banger material for sure. It's super upbeat, it's groovy as hell, and that vocal line, like, that'll get people for sure. So super into the overall vibe. In terms of the individual instrumentation and kind of like diving deeper into the elements of the song, I feel like there's 3 main components. I feel like I always notice 3 main components, but one would definitely be the vocal. There's a couple of interesting parts about the vocals in this song. There's obviously the main hook, which says "Hooked on You" in it, which sounds like a pitched down female vocal. And the vibe is super cool there because it sounds very vintage, like the older deep house kind of style, and I may have mentioned that in the first impression. But there's also a few extra little vocal things throughout the song. So to lead into the main hook, there is a repeating vocal line that will kind of like lead into it at one point. And then there's also a couple of other extra spoken word vocal parts. One I think is from a male voice, and the other one sounds like from the same female voice. It's just some extra textures and makes the song sound a little bit more like you're listening to a full song as opposed to just a bunch of loops and hearing the same vocal part over and over again, which is cool. And then the next element would definitely be the chords. And I think when I was first listening to it, to me it sounded like a Rhodes piano kind of sound, but I think I'm slowly starting to kind of get the ear for what sounds like the FM synthesis, like the Yamaha DX7 kind of sound. So I think that might be what's going on there. And it's definitely carries a lot of the vibe of the main song. The main part is kind of that staccato-y rhythm that you'll hear right away. It actually starts the song off. And then at the first break rather, there's the same chords are played more or less, but they're kind of held down, and it sounds like there's another sound overlapping it. And then finally there seems to be a third part with the chord or the keys, where it's the same staccato kind of rhythm at the beginning, but it sounds like another layer of keyboard is layered into it, and it's just adding a little bit more complexity and just another variation of the sound. And I think that's another key element that really carries the song forward. And then I'd say the third element is probably the drums, particularly. I'm gonna pause right there. Actually, I'm gonna keep going. Particularly the drums and the high end. It seems to have a lot of that funny kind of Sweely. If you know the artist Sweely, I just did a review on him a couple weeks ago. But that Sweely kind of percussion, high end, kind of weird sound effects thing going on at the top end. I think it adds a lot of energy to the song. And without it, it just wouldn't be quite the same. Other than that, the drums kind of do their part, same with the bass, but I do want to call it the bass. Bass is definitely one of my favorite instruments, and in this song, it slaps. It's super groovy. The sound design of the bass it's not crazy, but it's nice. It sounds very analog and warm. If it's not an actual analog and it's a VST instrument, then great job on making that sound awesome as well. And the groove is just fantastic. I love the sound when that bass comes in. It's huge. It comes in nice and strong. Huge fan. Speaking a little bit more to when things come in and out, the arrangement of the song is good. I like it quite a bit, particularly how melodic instrumentation comes in right away. There's no classic like drum intro kind of thing. And the build is everything builds up, it's not too crazy the way that everything builds up. I did mention in the vocals, when I was talking about the vocals, vocal changes throughout the song keep things fresh, and particularly though, there are two main drops, or two main breakdowns before drops. And I really like both of them quite a bit. They're not very typical in the sense they don't have any kind of like 909 build up, and they don't even really get like super reverby and spacey, which is a pretty common thing to do in breakdowns. It just strips instrumentation back, and particularly in the first breakdown is where it will play more or less the same chords instead of the staccato-y kind of rhythm. It's more legato, and it just kind of in that sense creates that same kind of spacey, reverby, delayed kind of vibe without going to the same typical crutches that a lot of other producers would do, including myself. So I really liked that one. And then the second breakdown was very similar in the way that it strips things back, but one particular thing that I liked a lot was how the bass comes in with just the kick, which is kind of cool, and then the way that that just abruptly stops and just and instead of the kick and the bass kind of taking the front stage, those go away, the low end goes away, and then all of a sudden the high end top elements of the drum, so like the hi-hats and percussion and the snares, come in, and the chords come in, which then leads right into the last drop, which I really liked. I really liked the breakdowns in this track for sure. Other than that, let's check the old phone notes. Bass, keys, vocals, talked about the arrangement a little bit. Oh, one extra thing that I wanted to talk about before I kind of wrap this all up was for most of the drops, when the drop first comes in, the hi-hat kind of like comes in and then fades out. for the first couple bars before it's a consistent offbeat open hi-hat pattern, which I think is so cool. So if you listen back to the song, pay attention to that, the way that the hi-hat comes in but then fades out, then comes back in, fades out a few times before it's just a consistent hi-hat on the offbeat. I thought that was really cool. Other than that, I like the overall vibe of the song. It's dancey, it's upbeat. I could see this like shaking booty on the dance floor for sure. I'm gonna add this to a set for sure, and I'm gonna give it an 8.7. I'm gonna give it a 9 actually. This one it's tight, it's has a lot of interesting musicality to it, but it's still an awesome dance floor banger kind of thing, and like it has something I think for everyone in the complexity of some of the rhythms as well, and with the chords and the rhythms in the bass, as well as like just having a nice kind of vocal that anyone can get attached to. I think it's an overall great track, and I know that it's on an EP that's going to be coming out, and I'm now definitely looking forward to that. Anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below, and if you like the same kind of music that I do and you want to see more reviews like this, as well as my own improvisations and jams, then like and subscribe, or don't, is your life, so whatever you want to do. Anyways, see ya. Thanks for watching, friend.